Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for some more embroidery and embellishing fun. As I mentioned in last week's video, I'm switching from the Let's Play, I'm pausing that, and I'm going to switch back to my bits and bobs and start getting these elements stitched into making it a quilt. You can see I got my desk cleared off, and I was able to layer a batting, and this top that has all the elements that I've made for this collage quilt. They're basted to the top, but now I'm going to start basting the 3 layers together. And then through the weeks, I will take you as I start stitching the pieces to the background and further embellishing them and adding filler bits. That's what I'll cover in my videos for a bit. I wasn't able to find any time to work on this quilt when I was doing the Let's Play series. You can see it at the top there a bit, but I'll also show you this way. I found this, I was so thrilled to find that I still had some yardage of this beautiful mini toile, and I'm using it for the backing for this quilt. And yes, I hear some of you yelling at the TV saying, why would you use such a beautiful fabric as a backing? But I thought about that, and I had originally saved it as a curtain for a blue and white fantasy kitchen I'm never going to have. I'm laughing at that. But what I decided is, yes, it's a beautiful piece of fabric. I've actually used it in this quilt, but a little piece of it. But I think this particular quilt of mine is so beautiful that it deserves a beautiful backing. That's how I justified it. I still do have some yardage left where I can make little curtains if I wanted to. But as I said, I don't think I'm going to have that kitchen. All right, I will come back and I'll start stitching this week's first piece down. I think I'm going to start with this one here. It seems to be on the bottom, So, yeah, I'm going to get basting and I'll be back. I have the whole thing basted. I basted about every 4 inches vertically and horizontally, the way you would baste a quilt. And what I also did is, with the extra I had on the edges of the batting and the backing, I turned them over and here, I'll get close up here, and I basted them down as well to give me kind of a temporary frame to not damage the edges while I'm doing the hand stitching. Every time I look at this quilt, I'm just more and more pleased. I have this selection of filler bits so far. I haven't added them yet. I will do that on camera sometime, but not at the moment. And what else I actually didn't ever picture this toile as like a small border on the outside, but the frame I kind of like that, so I might consider that, doing a small toile border around the whole piece before I add a dark binding. I think a dark blue, or yeah, we'll see. It won't be pink, I don't think. It'll be the blue. All right, I am going to set up my camera again the other way, and we'll start. Yeah, I do think I will start adding this piece, stitching it down. All right, I've begun the lace panel. This started out as a lace panel on a vintage dress, and I loved it. So when I had to, the dress was stained and not useful, so I took the panel off and always saved it. I didn't know what I'd do with it, and I really like what I ended up doing with it for this bits and bobs quilt. As you can see, the makers of the lace took several different kinds of lace and then stitched them together to make the panel. And what I did is, it was all just cream when I took it off the dress. I embroidered each of the roses with satin stitch over the design. And when I first started it, after doing one rose, I thought, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? This is going to take forever. But I have to tell you that the final result was worth every moment. That's just so beautiful. And then along here, where there were little holes, I did a embroidered fan. Let's see if I can get a really good close-up of it. I did an embroidered fanned out daisy stitch on both sides and on the edges as well. And the whole piece is backed onto a dark piece of red, rosy red, and onto batting. And so when I've attached it to this background, and I have already, let's see if I can pull this open here. I did a blind stitch attaching it to the background and the batting and the backing. So the whole piece is down now, all around all the edges. On the sides, there's a piece of lace loose, and if I flip that up, you can see that the rosy fabric underneath, I also blind stitched to the background. But you can see I was partially done. I wanted to show you that on this side, I haven't done anything in the middle, attaching it to the background, but here I have. I took tiny little stitches all the way up where the two pieces meet, and here as well, and about every 1/4 of an inch. You can't see it, they're just tiny, but they make such a difference holding it and melding it to the background of the block, where here you can see it's all still puffy. So I'm going to repeat that over on this side, on all the way to the end. And where did they go? I had the oh, here they are. Hold on. I have, these are from the dress still. These little red round wooden buttons. And I'm going to attach them down the center here where each of the loops go. So that'll be another little additional embellishment. And then that piece will be completely melded into the background. All right, I will come back when that's finished. Here is how far I've gotten before I need to stop and upload the video. Almost all the way. I did the buttons. Didn't they turn out nice? I've stitched this one, and I'm to here. So I only have that and this final one to go. I'll get that done later today. So yeah, element number 1 on the background. I'm looking forward to moving around the quilt and adding other things, because it definitely makes a difference when they're stitched down. Okay, I'll see you hopefully next week. We'll make progress. And thank you for watching.